Hi guys, so this is a pretty pragmatic review of 3 different mid-priced Thunderbolt 3 and 4 docks in order to get one cable rules them all solution, because I really love the convenience of just needing to plug in one cable and then having everything connected. So what you see here is like my workspace in the studio, and the requirements are mixed. So in general, I want to have dual monitor setup without having the monitors mirrored, so they should be like extending the desktop, as well as some standard USB devices like controllers here. Then I need a pretty fast connector for a USB-C SanDisk drive where all of my data is being saved, as well as that's the other need to connect the Apollo, the UAD quad device. That's the main audio interface, which runs through Thunderbolt 2, and I'm having an adapter for that. Some USB-A devices, USB-C ideally, or USB-A. I don't care as long as it's fast enough. With this is run about by spec it's a gigabyte per second, but connected directly to the Mac. This is, by the way, M1 Macbook Pro 14-inch 2021. Yeah, this yields directly connected to the Mac, around about 800 read and writes. So I would like to have this also on the dock or through the dock. And yeah, this, of course, yeah, some mouse, keyboard and stuff. But main purpose is to get 2 external monitors in extend modes through one dock, some USB devices, the UAD, and all and power just connecting through one Thunderbolt 4 or USB 4, whatever they call it, ports. And yeah, that's what this video is made for. I have 3 different docks: the Belkin Thunderbolt 3 dock, the Lenovo Thunderbolt 4 dock, the universal one, and a Dell Thunderbolt 4 dock. The price range is from 240 euros to 280, and I'll go through them in detail in regards of my requirements. So if you want to see a full review of a specific dock, just look it up in the internet. There are quite some detailed reviews on all ports and configurations, but for me it's a dual monitor with the UAD, some externals, and that's it. I don't go into details of all of these particular docks. So yeah, that's mainly it. Let's get into it. So this is the Belkin Thunderbolt 3 dock. It contains, of course, the dock, which ports I show in a bit. A lot of power adapters for all kind of countries. One Thunderbolt 3 cable, which is labeled. Huge power brick. And yeah, this is what we're trying out first. Let's unpack it and show the parts. This is basically on the back. It has 4 USB, 3.1 10 gigabit ports, I assume. Ethernet display port, just one uplink to the computer, and 1 port for external peripherals. And of course the power port. In the front you have SD and 2 USB connectors, type C, type A. I'll link the specs of this device in the description, but my use case is mainly for the Macbook Pro M1 based device. I'm getting it to work with my audio interface, as well as the 2 screens. and I'll set this up, and we see the results in a bit. As we see here, the Belkin Thunderbolt dock connected with the display ports via DisplayPort to HDMI adapter. The only Thunderbolt 3 port out goes via an adapter, Thunderbolt 2, so it should also work same with pure Thunderbolt 3 devices into the UAD Apollo, and daisy chained the screen. So this is daisy chained through the Apollo, and the other one is going directly DisplayPort to HDMI to this screen, and we see all screens work fine in extended mode, running all of them pretty smooth at 60 Hertz, which is absolutely fine for my workflow. And that's it for the device. So we have basically adapters included, DisplayPort to HDMI, Thunderbolt 3 to Thunderbolt 2 to the device, and on the back there is a Thunderbolt 2 to HDMI connected to the screen, which is fine. So basically 2 displays in extended mode can be used just fine without any hassle, and power delivery is also working just fine. Yeah, so far so good for the Belkin. So this is the ThinkPad Universal Thunderbolt 4 dock in comparison to the Belkin before. This one has a Thunderbolt 4 connectivity, while Belkin has Thunderbolt 3. This doesn't change anything in my setup with like 2 Full HD or 4K monitors. It has like higher bandwidth for video signals, but does not do anything for throughput like data. The dock itself looks pretty fancy with this red bottom. It has the usual front-facing connectors, USB-C, USB-A, and audio in and out combined. It's pretty nice. It's labeled over here, so this is charging, while it has 10 gigabits per second throughput. I like this labeling. It's pretty nice. And of course, the back is similar to the other docks. It has a couple of USB-A, no USB-C here. Yes, USB-C, but it's Thunderbolt for an external peripheral, and another Thunderbolt for the uplink to the computer. Pretty weird, non-standard connectors over here, but probably known for Lenovo users, and a couple of display connectors in different form factors here. We're gonna try out these to get these 2 screens running at the same time as my Apollo. I expect that it will work similar. So when we put one screen here and we connect the Apollo here, while the Apollo has daisy chain screen, it will work. But I am curious if I can get 2 screens connected while extending the desktop instead of mirroring and using only these. All right, let's see what else is in the box. Probably usual stuff: power connectors, a power brick, usual size, pretty fat. Very interesting lectures, as well as a Thunderbolt 4 cable. Also nice here. It's labeled. So let's get it connected and let's get it running. So the same results here with the Lenovo ThinkPad dock. We see that all screens can be used in an external extended fashion. The same setup as before. One is directly connected to the hub via HDMI. The other one goes through the Thunderbolt 2 adapter through the UID into this device, which is daisy chained at the end of this one. So I assume if you don't have the setup with this additional Thunderbolt 2 bottleneck, you can connect up to 2 4K monitors daisy chained, maybe even more, while having some device using bandwidth for data, which is absolutely fine for my setup. But now I will try to get everything running with only video signals directly from here without daisy chaining. Now directly connecting both screens to the hub. It looks like it can only use mirror mode for the external ones, and extended one, of course, the main one, regardless which connectivity I choose back there. Maybe it works when going into clamshell mode. No, it does not. So this is probably a bummer. Let's choose the other one and see what happens. I think this will be similar results, which is due to Apple lacking MST, which is multi-stream transport. I can link this in the description, but not sufficient for my workflow. So yeah, we see it's basically just mirrored the external ones. Let's see what happens now. Also only mirroring, which is a bummer, but okay, I was expecting that. But it works daisy chained, so also could be fine for my workflow. All right, and now let's head over to the flagship one, to the Dell one. Not the most expensive one, but it has 2 Thunderbolt outputs, so see you in a bit. So last but not least, we have the Dell D2020 TB4, which is a Thunderbolt 4 dock like the Lenovo, unlike the Belkin. And this has the biggest package, but not anything. Another very beautiful bedtime lecture here, and here we have the dock, which has a fixed cable, a pretty thick one, also labeled Thunderbolt 4, which is very nice. I like that they start labeling their stuff. And same form factor as the Lenovo. It has this detachable thing here, which you could have like the Thunderbolt 3 version. You could exchange this, but I don't know exactly the details. Nevertheless, on the front we have USB-C and USB-A. I don't know the details here. I'll link the spec in the description, but probably USB 3.1 or 3.2. I think the Lenovo had 3.2 Gen 2. I'm not sure about this one, but I don't care because I'm not using this high-end data transfer devices. I'm interested in video compatibility here. Similar layout on the back, couple of display ports and HDMI. We have another, is this a USB-C with display port? This is also very nice. Let's see how these 4 will work together with the Mac and the MST problems mentioned before. But I assume this will work like Lenovo. This means only mirrored modes when using 2 of them. And here we have USB-A, network, as well as the power. And the beauty of this one is we have 2 Thunderbolt 4 connectors for external devices. So this means I could connect the Apollo here, one device here, Apollo here, daisy chain the screen here, connect the screen here, or connect the screens here. We'll find out. And yeah, that's it. Power button like the Lenovo, but I don't go into these details as a lot of other reviewers are mentioning this. All right, so what else in the box? Another set of cables and one beautiful compact power brick in a beautiful huge plastic bag. But that's it, and more bedtime stories. See you in a bit. as you see with the Dell WD2020 TB4 deck, using only HDMI and DisplayPort on the back. It's working with one display, as you'll see, either one screen, the other one is flickering. It's trying to sync, but it doesn't work. This is only this screen, so this Dell, now it's up and running, but probably, yeah, it will be gone. We have another screen up there. I'll try the other one. This is behaving a bit weird because the HDMI port is somehow wonky. It doesn't allow for proper syncing, so we have this external monitor should show up, and then up there we have another one. But yeah, both only in mirror modes. This means I can move this up, but yeah, as you see, it's on both, but doesn't extend the display. Not sure why it's not working with this one. Same happens when using a USB Type-C to DisplayPort. This one gets extended, but it's weird. It's pretty weird and wonky behavior. I'm absolutely not sure what's going on there. Yeah, the thing goes away when using setup. You'll see it's blinking here, everything's flickering and going back and forth. No idea what's going on. But this has probably even more problems when I'm connecting this one. At least the ISO screen should pop up again. Not sure what's going on now. Let's plug and unplug again. That's weird. But things go smooth when using the pass-through daisy chain from the Apollo. This is going well. So this screen should come back in a second. So great. And let's get this one. And we have 3 displays where we can move things around. So that should be fine. But yeah, as you see, special case here. And everything is fine when we use HDMI directly to the Thunderbolt 4. Showing up fine again. Now you can maybe hear it. This is the only one with a fan. It actually just kicked off. This is pretty interesting that the others don't have fans, but this one has. Not sure why. But yeah, we have extended screen here. And I think that's it in a nutshell. I'll sum up and be back in a minute. Just another quick finding for the Dell dock, which I was expecting to have maximum ports available for display connectivity. It seems like you cannot connect 4 screens, even though you have 2 Thunderbolts here. Of course, connect 3 external screens and have 4 in total. So this one is one, of course, works. This one is still connected here. And then I was expecting to have this one daisy chained to the Apollo, which uses one Thunderbolt 4, of course, through Thunderbolt 2, but this one is not recognized because this one, so the big one over here, up there, is connected to the other Thunderbolt output here, but then it doesn't recognize this one. So probably if I unplug this one, it will fall back to the daisy chain that's going through here. And that one, yes, that's the case. So this makes me skeptical about these 2 Thunderbolt extenders here. I was expecting that this will be the big selling point for this Dell, but it looks like it doesn't support 2 display streams. All right, see you in the verdict in a minute. So after quite some extensive tests of all docks, focusing on the data transport ports, like front-facing USB A and C, as well as the back-facing ones, I think I came to the conclusion that I will go with the ThinkPad Thunderbolt 4 dock, because this has the highest data transfer ports. So basically all of them are 10 megabits per second, which is also labeled, which I like. So it's the cleanest setup. Also, video connectivity was working without any issues in comparison to the Dell device. So this fulfills all my needs, even though it just has one Thunderbolt 3 output. I can work around with this to get my 2 monitor setup, having this daisy chained to the Apollo device. But if you're like concerned about future and there will be more Thunderbolt 3 or 4 devices, drives, whatever peripherals, you might consider the Dell, especially if you have like a Dell PC. Then I think this is fine, because you can do proper firmware upgrades and you can probably use all of the ports properly. Also the power output on a Dell machine is higher than on a MacBook like I'm using, and the price range of all of these is, this is the most expensive one, even though it's Thunderbolt 3. So I wasn't focusing a lot on this one, but this is 280 euros roundabouts. The Dell one is 260 euros roundabout, and the ThinkPad is 240 euros roundabout. I will try this one for the next 2 weeks, unless I find major bugs with or problems with that. I'll send it back. Meanwhile, I keep the Dell as a fallback, and if I'm happy with this one during the next 14 days, I'll just keep that. That's fine for me, even though, as I said, the only downside here is the single Thunderbolt 4 downlink to an external device, which will be used by my Apollo and then daisy chained and so forth. But other than that, this is pretty fine and pretty decent for the for my needs. And yeah, as I said, the only concern with the Thunderbolt connector, the single one, is that if I'm like switching from USB-C external drives to something more sophisticated and faster, like a Thunderbolt 3 SSD, then I would be concerned, because I might want to hook it up here, but in the end I can also just go directly to the Mac, which is an edge case for me, and I'll just go with what I need right now, not looking too much into the future. So yeah, that's the device I'm picking, the Lenovo Universal Thunderbolt 4 dock, around about 240 euros in Germany. You might find a different deal, but I think I'll update after 2 weeks of usage. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching.